Hello everybody, it's Bee from Bespoke Crafts and welcome to my channel. Today's card is going to be using the Gummy Pan Advent Calendar Day 2 and it's the die is of an Aperture Tree with a little bird box. I'm using a Crafter's Companion Pokey Tool and I don't know whether you've noticed, but I put little marks on the end where you take the tip off, the plastic bit, silicone bit, whatever bit. Simply because the other side doesn't come off, and the amount of times I've picked the wrong sides up. So you'll see on this one, I've got little white marks on it. So I've cut the tree out 3 times. I'm going to fast forward fussy cutting out the 2 together, simply because the time was 2.5 minutes and I got it down to 14 seconds. And I know that sounds silly, but sometimes my internet is really good and sometimes it is absolutely rubbish, and videos can take up to 7 hours I've had before to upload, compared to sort of like half an hour for the same length. So that's what I've done anyway, and I've used little Cutter-bee scissors, which are extremely sharp and they are really good for fussy cutting. Excuse me. I'm just looking whether I'm going to either use foam tape or leave a drop shadow behind the tree, and looking about where I'm going to position the 3rd tree. I'm also going to be using the foam tape, which is about 2mm, just on the very edges of the top, the bottom and the side, so it's hidden by the card base itself, so you can't see them. My voice is a bit croaky, I am sorry about that. These foam strips, I got them from Temu. Some people like Temu, some people don't. I particularly do like it for these sort of things. They are extremely sticky as well, which is really good. So yeah, I'm just going to cut little bits off and position the tree. I'm not going to position the tree, I'm going to colour it first, but I'm just going to fast forward this little bit for you because it is a little bit tedious and I don't want you to get bored. So this is the position that I'm going to have the tree in, on the back of the card. But what I'm also going to do is just glue the backing of the other one, just to give it a little bit more strength. And I am using, I'm just looking for it now, I should get everything ready in front of me. I get some things ready but not others. This is the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive clay drying craft glue. I do think it leaves a little shine actually. I've yet to find one. I think the only one that I've ever found really that doesn't leave a bit of a shine is the Holtz glue. I can't find that one at the moment by just looking. So we're going to get down to colouring, and I've decided to use my watercolour pencils. I've got 2 sets and I've mixed them both up. This is Runzel Expression watercolour pencils. Those are the brown ones, where the other ones are, they're just darker colour. I'm just looking to see if there's a name on them. Yeah, they're Crawford and Black. So I'm using different shades of brown, just to add different textures to them. So I'm not going to give you the numbers. It's literally because the Crawford and Black don't have numbers on them, whereas the other ones do. So yeah, I do like watercolour pencils. They are nice to work with. I also like watercolour paints. So yeah, I'm going to start off with the darker shades, but unfortunately you're not really going to see that because my fingers are in the way. You will see it as I start to move the piece around. I'm waiting to start. There we go. You don't realise while you sat doing a voiceover how much time I take in just preparing and changing my mind and what have you. So the darker shades are going underneath the branches and also towards the end of the aperture and at different places on the tree. So I am going to fast forward the colouring of all of the parts. There are a lot of fast forwarded places through it, like I have said previously. I do have to try and cut down as much as possible the time on the making of the card. So I shall be going into fast forwarding any second. I'm really happy with the first one that I did. This first tree, I like the colours of it. Whereas you'll see, I'm putting the there's slightly debossed lines on the aperture itself, where you can add your natural shading where the designer thinks it should be, or decides it should be. It's their design, but you don't have to take any notice of that. You can do it's your poetic license, isn't it? You can do whatever you want. But the next one that I do feel that it is a little bit red, and I'm looking at it now, and I did slightly change it on it. There is actually quite a lot of detail on the die itself. When you look at it, I've got it in my hand now because I did this yesterday and just finishing the editing this morning. Well, it's now this afternoon, it's 12:30. So that'll see when it comes to uploading what time it gets done. That'll be interesting. So as you can see, I love the colours of the first one. I don't know why I just didn't replicate the same thing. I wanted it to be slightly different because it's a little bit more in the background. But the red is too much. And as you can see, I'm just using that little pool of water that's on the right hand side of my hand, of my right hand. Literally, you don't need a lot at all to blend these colours through. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. You can tell there it's too red. Definitely too red. So I will be changing that. So now I'm just putting a little bit of tape on the bottom layer of the house. So now I'm looking at, this is my Gummy Pan Little Bits box, and I mean Gummy and Pan's nearly all little bits, but I just keep them here. I've got little notes of what's in there, and like I've just seen there, a very quick one. I took the birds out that I decided that I wasn't going to use, but I taped them together on a little mint tape. And I've also got pieces out that I've cut out. But what I'm looking for are leaves. And I did buy some tiny wee leaves from Gummy Pan, but I decided I didn't want to use those. And in the end, as you can see on the top left hand, the leaves with the stalk, and that's actually from the sunflower. I've got 2. I thought I had 3, which is again was what I'm looking for now. So I have got the other little ones, which I'm going to use. But first of all, I'm going to really go into zoom into this one in a second. And I've picked a strawberry out because I like the shape of the top of it, where the green stalky bit is. What's it called? The green leafy stalky bit. I think it's called a green leafy stalky bit. But I'm choosing this orange, and I'm just going to colour that tiny wee bit, because I'm going to make that into a beak, because I want to have a little beak coming out of the birdhouse, like a little baby. What I did see on the gummy pan, crafting with gummy pan today, was absolutely brilliant, and it was a different perspective. And this lady, I can't remember the name of her, and she'd done her view from inside the bird box with a nest with some eggs in it, and also some chicks looking out, and there was a guy holding it looked like a crow or a raven. It's absolutely phenomenal. It was absolutely brilliant, totally thinking out the box, which is what I hopefully try to do. You see different things, don't you? But yeah, that was absolutely brilliant card. So now I'm looking at positioning the card at the tree on the card itself, and you see I've just got it so you can't see the foam tape at all. So just literally colouring in the bird box. I'm using greens and browns. I've put the greens on it as well because I wanted it to look like a little bit of moss, as it were, because it's been out in the elements. And I've also put a little bit of green in the folds of the tree and the trunk, where the natural moss would be growing. These dies are just so delicate from gummy pan. I have to say that my favourites are gummy pan and Tim Holtz. They're at completely different ends of the crafting line, but I love them both. So there you go, just putting a little bit more of the green on. And now it's looking for positioning. I put it on the tree on the forefront, and I didn't want it there, so I decided to put it on the tree in the background. And I have just used a little bit of the foam tape that I was using earlier, just to make it stand out a little bit more, because obviously a birdhouse is not going to be flush with the tree. And it was, well, it was making sure that it was positioned straight on the tree rather than at an angle, which took a little bit of faffing with, but in this craft we do faff. You like it? Well, I like them to be as realistic as possible, considering what you're using. It was brilliant as well to see that Gummy Pan have got their own YouTube channel now, where they're they've got the studio. If you haven't seen that, I would recommend you having to go and look at that. And they're doing a little video of each of the days. So what I've coloured in the paper and just cutting through. I've fast forwarded this because as you can see on the final card, I cut absolutely loads out. Initially doing the sunflower leaves, and then I used the very small die, I'm sorry about my voice, that were freebies with miser print and come here pan. When you put your order through, you get little freebies, which is a lovely gesture. And I ended up, to be fair, using the little freebie one more than I used the sunflower ones. So just stacking them up now, ready to go on, and then placing them wherever I feel they needed to be placed. On the final card, I haven't shown it on here, but I did on the back. I did antique linen, and I just gently brushed all over, and then used the stencil by. Oh, let me just have a look. Let's try not to stand on the dogs. The dogs are all under my bench. It's called Moving Air. So it's in front of me now. I've got up. Moving Air stencil, and it is SC323 by Picket Fence Studios. I have used this quite a few times. It is a lovely stencil. So I'm just using this thin foam tape to go around the edges, and this is so fine that you don't have to take the backing off to twist it around, which is good. But if you struggle with putting foam tape around any bends, corners or whatever, if you take a little bit of the backing paper off as you're going round, it's a lot more pliable and flexible, so you can bend it easily round to the shape that you want it. So tip of the day. That's 2 tips of the day. The first one being the Crafter's Companion pokey tool. So I'm just doing a little bit more packing out. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I do go a little bit hectic on the foam tape. I don't like to see saggy cards. And this part I'm just doing a little bit of background, and I've just used my blending brush with whatever ink was on it, and the colour that I used was Salty Ocean, and I just put a little bit of colour just to add that little bit of difference to the card. And there I am, just putting the foam tape on. I'm going to put a little bit of the glue on as well, just to stop it sticking straight away. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room. And it makes it easier to put your base down. So again, I'm using the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. I'm trying this one out. I've just used the Gina Connect glue, which I do like. That is good glue, but I wanted to just try different ones to see how I get on with them. I've missed a bit of the taking the backing off there. So the card base that I'm putting on is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. This the card that I'm using now is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. so you've got a good margin round. And I haven't at all used a matte layer as well. I normally do, but quite a few of these cards I haven't done because I don't want it to take away, and it wouldn't add anything to the card as well. So just checking it's the right way. The amount of times that I've stuck a card front onto a card the wrong way, it's upside down or what have you, and that becomes the instant matting layer because I have to cut it off. I also haven't put a sentiment on here. This is going to be probably a birthday card for a male. Now what I have done, I didn't show it on here, I took it out. I used a marker pen, and it was an Art Studio marker pen, and it's a brush and a fine tip. And I went round initially in the fine tip around the aperture, and I didn't like it. I didn't think there was enough on it. So now I'm going the same colour, but just sort of like doing a sketchy bit around it. And to be honest with you, I'm not that keen on it. So I'll probably go and have a look around and think about how I'm gonna change that a little bit. Might make it a bit wider. I don't know. But as you can see as well, I've also put the leaves coming out of the aperture. Anyway, that's nearly coming to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please select the I'll ring the bell and the thumbs up, so you'll get notifications and I get your likes. Please comment if you want to. I love reading your comments. And that's today's card, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.